another breakdown of UFC Vegas 92, Barboza versus Murphy. We back with another breakdown. Sadly, we're back in the Apex. Motherfucker. But at least we know these cards are going to end sooner than later, so we just have to power through these last few Apex cards, so whatever. But yeah, we are back in the Apex after a great fight night in St. Louis, and we are back in the Apex with a card that's not very great. So it's a card, always great to see Edson Barboza, but fuck, it's not a good card. But either way, I'm gonna break it down. So yeah, yeah, what can we do besides just say fuck it, we're gonna watch it anyway, and whatever. So before I get into the breakdown, please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2024. And unless I'm forgetting to say something, I think I can just get right into the breakdown, because I don't know what else I can really add. I've said that we're back in the Apex. Yeah, let's break down some fights. 12 fights in total, and it's not a great 12, but it's 12 as we begin in the women's strawweight division with a very meh fight between Emily Gordinha Ducote versus Vanessa Little Monster Demopoulos. Not a fantastic fight to start tonight, but I've seen much worse. Two very experienced fighters in the UFC at this point. Both have some wins under their belts, and now they're trying to see who can get the better of the other. So yeah, not too shocked we're in this fight. They've both been pretty up and down in the UFC, so we'll see who gets the win here, because both kind of, well, they don't need it, but 2 wins in a row for either one of these two is actually a pretty nice thing to have. So yeah, not much else to say besides let's start the breakdown with the first fighter, Emily Ducote. Emily in the UFC is 2-2. Her 2 wins are Jessica Panay and Ashley Yoder. Her 2 losses are to Angela Hill and Lupi Godinez. Her 2 wins are against 2 pretty bad fighters. Like debuting, fighting a ranked fighter and getting the win was impressive. She looked amazing in that fight, the best performance of her career so far. And Panay's a good veteran to beat, especially on your short-nosed debut and all that. That's cool. That was a really good debut. But it has been really up and down since then. She lost to Angela Hill, who was on the card. We all know how Angie works. She will beat every prospect ever. And then she lost to Lupi Godinez. Never can get upset at that, even though that was not even a great performance by Lupita, but she's just better than Ducote. And then in Ducote's last fight, she got back on track, beating Ashley Yoder. Anyone can beat Ashley Yoder. So, and the highlight of that fight was my tweet getting put up on the broadcast for a couple seconds. So I like it. Yeah, Ducote's no fucking world beater. She's never gonna. She reminds me of kind of JJ Aldrich. Like, she's not bad. But she's never gonna have an amazing fight. She's never gonna like do anything that shocks you. She's just gonna fight her fight, win, lose, or draw. So yeah, she's never going to have a fight of the night. She's never going to get a fucking performance bonus or a knockout. But she's going to do what she does to get the win. And so far it's worked twice and failed twice, and it's just a main reason. I'm trying to think. I definitely think she might have got thrown into the big fights a little too quickly, but that's what happens when you beat a ranked fighter in your debut. So, like, should she really been facing Angela Hill and Lupi within her first 3 fights in the UFC? No. But that's what happens. So, and again, when she fought back down in competition, she looked great. But again, anyone can look great against fucking Ashley Yoder. So. But yeah, we know what Emily's gonna come out here and do. She wants to keep it standing. She is the better striker, and she's going to want, like I said, keep it standing. If she can stuff the takedown, she probably will win this pretty easily. It should not be that hard of a fight. But that's definitely, stopping takedowns will be an issue. I'm trying to remember how she did against Loopy. Did Loopy take her down a lot? I don't remember her doing that, like, a little bit, but I don't remember Loopy throwing her around like Loopy usually does, so it'll be interesting how Vanessa does here. So, Ducote is not great, but she's not bad, and she is a passable fighter who I think got thrown into the big leagues, the higher echelon of the division, too early. That I think that's the perfect way to sum her up, so... yeah. To talk about her opponent, Vanessa Demopoulos, Crystal Demopoulos, whatever. We know we're getting with Demi as well. She is 4-2 in the UFC. Her wins are Silvia Gomez Suarez, Jinyu Fry, Maria Oliveira, and Kanako Murata. Her 2 losses are to JJ Aldridge and Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Demopoulos is not a bad fighter. She's just not good in some areas of fighting. Her striking's terrible. Like, her striking sucks. And we've seen that time and time again, her striking sucks. She got dropped by Gomez Suarez, who's not a bad person to get dropped by, because we know SGJ has power in her hands, but still. I'm trying to remember she got outstruck by Karolina and Aldridge. Aldridge, she just got completely beat up by, but J.J. Aldridge, that was a short-nosed debut, so I'll give her, that was the best performance of Aldridge's career, fuck. And then, like, outside the Gomez fight, she just beat 3 bad fighters. Jinyu Fry was not a great performance, but she did get to win. Maria Oliveira, won maybe the worst strawweight they had. She beat her pretty easily, definitely probably Vanessa's best performance. And then Murata, I see why people call that a robbery, but if you really watch that fight, Demopoulos did more. Murata just laid on top, so I get why the judges actually scored a fight correctly when it came to damage and all that, so I'm proud of the judges in that regard. Also, I've seen fighters with way worse losses than JJ Aldridge and Karolina Kowalkiewicz. So it's not like every time, like when she fights bad fighters, she's winning. Her last 3 wins are against bad fighters she is better than. Gomez, I think Gomez is a lot better than people act, but yeah, she won that too. So I don't know. I don't really like. People really don't rate Demopoulos at all, and if they do, it's not very highly, and I get it. She, like, when she wins a fight, outside the Gomez fight, it's never been like, oh yeah, great performance. It's always like, yeah, she won, I guess. Like, I don't know, she's not had that, like, she's more known for the fucking jumping into Bisbing's and DC's arms and all that, than actually, like, looking good in the cage. So you can see why she's not highly rated by people. And like that, I've seen every one of her fights. I don't rate her very high. I think she's a fine fighter, but is she a top 15 level fighter? Fuck no. She's probably not even a top 25 level fighter. She's just passable. She can win some fights, and she's not incapable of looking good in fights. She just doesn't look good often, so I don't know, she could really get a nice one here, and I don't know, Demopoulos is a weird fighter, who, like, let's say she did win this fight, she'd be 5-1 in her last fucking 6, that's insane. So, I don't know, Demi is a weird one. She is also 35 years old, which is something to definitely consider, being that old at the lighter weight classes. We've not really seen that play out too well. We just saw Karolina Kowalkiewicz 2 weeks ago. We've seen how Michelle Waterson has done, how Joanna did as she got older. So getting older at especially at strawweight, not a great thing. So, and the last thing I'll bring up real quick, we know what Demopoulos wants to do. She wants to take you down. That's why she has 4 submissions, 1 TKO, but that was obviously a TKO. She wants to get you down, and because she is so short, she is 5'2", with a small reach, she can't strike, she does not take punches well, she wants to just get you down, and she's been able to do that sometimes, not others. When she can't do that, she loses. So, I don't know, I don't think Demopoulos is a bad fighter, she's just not great. So if she could improve her striking, she could be an intriguing fighter. But I don't. At 35 years old, this deep into her career, I don't think she's gonna improve it much more than where it's already at. It's gotten better, but it's still not good. So, yeah, I think that's enough said about Vanessa Demopoulos. The betting odds for this fight have Emily Ducote minus 275 to plus 220. Yeah, I agree. You could have Ducote up to 300 in my opinion. Ducote was definitely, earlier today I was looking at who my lock for the night is. She was definitely top 2 considerations. I don't really see her losing this fight. She should be, I don't get what people are saying here. People really just think Demopoulos is going to take her down. I don't see that. Like, Ducote is... Wow, Ducote's 5'2". Long reach, though. I just don't think Demopoulos is going to be able to take her down at will. Ducote... again, I'm going to look at what the stats were for the Godinez fight, but I'm pretty sure she didn't get taken down much. And if she did, that's a loopy Godinez anyway. So, I get... to an extent, thinking Demopoulos can win this fight, because again, there is a world she does. If she gets takedowns consistently, maybe lands some okay shots on the feet, she could win. But do I think she's gonna be able to do that? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Ducote's to the level of Kanaku Murata and Jinyu Fry. She's not going to just fucking get taken down or get outstruck on feet. She's going to fight back. And every time Demopoulos has fought someone who fights back, she does not do very well. And I like Vanessa. I think I've picked her in all of her fights outside of maybe the Aldridge fight. I think she's a decent fighter. But I don't think she has the skill set to beat Emily Ducote here. Unless she's got better striking. Her cardio ain't very good either. She's just tough and she has a good ground game. And against someone like Ducote who has a good gas tank, who's good on the feet, good leg kicks, I don't think this is going to go well for Vanessa. So my pick here is going to be Emily Ducote. I think this is the first time I've picked against Vanessa in a long, since her debut, I believe. But I've picked her a lot, because, first time I picked against her since the Aldridge fight. And I've got some good underdog picks, right, picking her. She was a giant underdog against Murata. But Emily Ducote is a big step up, and every time Vanessa takes that step up, she loses. So, I'm going Emily Ducote. I think she'll keep it on the feet and win probably a very uneventful decision. It'll probably just be stuffing takedowns and being the better striker. Maybe Vanessa proves me wrong. If she does, fine. I like Vanessa. She's a fine fighter. But I don't think she's going to do that. So, I'm going to go Emily Ducote by decision. Should probably win this fight pretty easily. Just stop takedowns. So, to start tonight, I'm going Emily Ducote by decision. After that, we head to our second fight of the night in the men's bantamweight division, as we have a very intriguing, close fight. Definitely not an easy one to predict. As we have the Mongolian Knight Alatengheili versus Kleydson K.R. Rodrigues. We definitely have a mid-off here because neither of these two are that great. It's just this fight definitely is one of those fights where it's not like skill for skill. It's literally just who's the better fighter, because neither of these guys are that good. It's who sucks less, and we'll see. I will see what I think. So, but let's start with talking about Alatengheili. Been a minute since we've seen Alateng in there. In the UFC, Alateng is 4-2-1. His 4 wins are Dana Bagarel, Ryan Benoit, Kevin Kroom, and Chad and Hellinger. His 2 losses are Casey Kenny and Chris Gutierrez, and he has a draw with Gustavo Lopez. Alatengheili is not a bad fighter. He's not great, far from it, but he's not the worst. He got a huge jump up to in the Chris Gutierrez fight as he stepped in for somebody. I don't remember who he stepped in for, but I think Chris Gutierrez stepped in to fight him because he was meant to fight Ronnie. So, or some bullshit like that happened. And yeah, that was just not a really good fight for Alateng. He's not to the level of Chris Gutierrez. So, That went how you expected to. He got 30-27 if I remember. But when he fights guys that are his level, he does pretty good. He looked great against Kevin Kroom in 47 seconds. He looked great against Chad Anhelinger. He has wins over Benoit and Donna. He's been good. Like, when he's fighting guys that are his level, he's not bad. The only two dudes he's lost to are Kenny and Gutierrez, who are mainly, like, really good leg kickers. And, like, good, or, like, decent strikers. So that's why he fucking lost. He just got outstruck. So, Alatengheili's a fine fighter. He's only 32, and he trains with, I think he trains with, like, the Mongolian Murderer and all that. He trains with a couple people for, like, yeah, Korean Zombie, JSP, shit like that. Yeah, so he's not bad. He's not a great fighter, but he's not bad. His striking's fine. His cardio's fine. His toughness is fine. He's just a fine, like, not to low, like, I don't think he's like an average fighter, but he's like, I don't fucking, like a C minus. Even that, maybe that's a little too, like a D plus. He's fine. He can win fights against bad fighters. He can't win them against decent fighters or even a good one. And I don't know what happened here. So I think he got point taken or some bullshit. So he's had some time off to heal up after the Gutierrez fight. I think that Gutierrez fight a good fight for him to have, even though he lost, because he got to be in there with a very high level fighter in a division, so maybe he got better from that. I don't know why. He didn't look terrible. I've seen people look much worse. So, yeah, I think Alatengheili's a fine fighter. Nothing special, but he's fine. To talk about his opponent, Kleydson Rodrigues. Kleydson in the UFC is 1-2. His one win is against Shannon Ross, and his two losses are to CJ Vergara and Farid Basharak since he came off Contender Series in 2021. Not a lot of fights for being in the UFC this long, but he's had 4 canceled fights. Klaydson's not very good. He started at flyweight. He went 1-1, missed weight against Shannon Ross, missed weight against Tasu Ataria, and then he moved up. So he tried to be the weight bully, didn't work. And then he made his debut against Farid Basharat, and that went as well as you think it did. He got completely demolished in a round. He's just not good. I don't think he's that good. Like, he's young, he's only 28, very young in his career, but he's just not shown anything that impressive. You ran through Shannon Ross. Good job to have fucking a bunch of other people. Like, you had a close fight with CJ Vergara. I think that's a fight people think's a robbery. I would rewatch it if I cared. And then again, like, losing to Farid Basharat, it's not a bad thing. Neither is losing to CJ Vergara. But it's just like, he's not even looking that good in these fights. He looked awful against Farid. I don't remember him looking that good against CJ. He's just not looked impressive. And, like, if we really break down him as a fighter, his striking's okay, but his cardio sucks, his ground game sucks. He's just not very good. And I just don't really think... I've never really been impressed with him the few times I've seen him. I've seen him fight 4 times, and I've never really been impressed. When the best thing you've done in your career is knock out Shannon Ross, it's like, good job. Now, have you done anything actually impressive? So... maybe he's improved. He's been off for a little bit of time, and this is his second fight up at bantamweight and a giant step down. So we'll see how he looks. He really needs a win here, but yeah, I'm never been impressed with him. I definitely don't think he's a good fighter. I rank him lower than I rank Alatengheili. So yeah. The betting odds for his fight have Kleydson Rodrigues -185 to +150. I disagree. I would say a pick'em. I'm not confident in either guy here. I don't think either is trustworthy. I think this is a very accurate 50-50 fight. It's whose night is it? Because, again, neither of these guys are that skilled. Like, if I had to lean a favorite, I'd go Alatengheili. He's more experienced. He's fought tougher competition. But even then, it's like, it's a 50-50 fight again. This fight is whoever's night it is. I know that's really a cheap way to look at it, but that's true. And I guess you could say that for every fight. But in this fight, it's like, who's going to have the better night? Who do I think's gonna have the better night? I'm gonna lean with Alatengheili. I think I know he's more experienced. I think he's a better fighter. I think he has more tools in his tool belt. I think he had, like when it's striking, it's probably Kleydson, but then we got cardio, is Alatengheili. Ground game is Alatengheili, which is probably gonna be what he's trying to do in this fight. And again, he's more experienced. He's had way more UFC fights. So all these factors really lean to Alatengheili outside the striking, but Kleydson has one, like, it's striking and age, but it's not even that, it's a 5-year age difference. Woo. So I'm going to lean Alatengheili. I think he should be able to gas out Kleydson, wrestle him, maybe even get a submission. How many submissions does he have in his career? Three submissions, 5 KOs. Yeah, I could see him getting some takedowns and doing his thing. I'm going to go Alatengheili. I think he's the better fighter, and I think he'll be able to win this fight. So, give me the veteran in this fight, Alatengheili by decision. I doubt he gets the finish, but with how tired Kleydson will probably be with the pace Alateng puts on, you never know. So, give me Alatengheili by decision. After that, we head back to strawweight for a fight that's worse than the one that opened the card, and I'm not very excited for this fight because it's Can versus Can. As we head back to strawweight 4, Piera, La Fiera, Rodrigues versus Ariane, Sorciso, Carnelossi. What the fuck? The long story short about this fight, I guess Piera was meant to fight, Calvillo a few weeks ago, and they moved her to this card, and they found her an opponent. Somehow they found the most juiced up opponent they could find her, and she's been gone for 2 years, so let's see how they look. But let's start talking about Piera Rodrigues, who I literally just broke down like a month ago. Yeah, literally when she fought Calvillo, so great. Piera in the UFC is 2-1. Her 2 wins are Kay Hansen and Sam Hughes, and her 1 loss is to Jillian Robertson. Piera's not good. She's not good at all. She was a can crusher who fought cans and won. And she didn't even look good in those fights. She looked good against Kay Hansen, but it's Kay Hansen. And then she looked awful versus Sam Hughes and won somehow. And then she got fraud checked by Jillian Robertson, who is, there's worse people to lose to, but still, she looked so pathetic in that fight. It's kind of sad. So, yeah, Piera's not good. I think you only have to watch one of her fights to see that. Her striking's not good. Her cardio is terrible. She has no ground game. She's not good. And she's lucky she's fighting someone who might be worse than she is, because she's probably going to take another out. She's gonna beat Calvillo, and she probably is going to beat Carnelossi. So they're just handing her these layups that she should win. So, I don't know. I don't think Piera is very good. She is young, 31 years old. This is her 11th fight. Maybe she's improved. Do you believe she's improved, though? Fuck no. I still think she's probably still the shitty fighter we saw over a year ago get destroyed by Jillian Robertson. So maybe she's improved, but I doubt it. So she's probably still the below average striker with no other abilities that she was before. I guess we'll find out though, because she is fighting someone who again might be a worse fighter than she is, as she is fighting Ariane Carnelossi. Carnelossi in the UFC is 2-2. Her 2 wins are Na Liang and Estela Nunez. Her 2 losses are to Angela Hill and Lupi Godinez. Yeah, she's not good. She's a complete juice head, as if you couldn't fucking tell that. I can make too many jokes that are too accurate, so yeah, lay off the juice. Fucking Paulo's fucking sister out here with the secret juice. Yeah, she's not a good fighter. From what I remember seeing of her, she beat up 2 cans and Estela Na, and the last thing we saw of her, she was getting thrown around the octagon by Lupi Godinez. So, maybe she's gotten better in the 2 years she's been away. She trained inside Muay Thai. Let's see. Did she train with anyone good? John Matsumoto. Not a great gym, but Matsumoto's good. She's young, only 31, so I guess taking a 2-year break ain't the worst thing. But it's not. I don't know. At a lighter weight class, a 2-year break at strawweight ain't the worst thing in the world, especially for how young she is and who she's fighting in her return. But it's not the craziest thing in the world either. Gonna have to knock off the 2 years of rust, but it should not be the hardest thing in the world. So we'll see how she does here. Very favorable matchup since Piera is trash. She's gonna want to take Piera down. Like, I don't really think I need to explain that. And if she can, she'll win this fight. I would not be shocked if she did win this fight, because who she's fighting. But yeah, she's not good, neither is her opponent. So, like I said, this is Can versus Can. The betting odds for this fight have Piera Rodrigues minus 175 plus 145. I think that's too much. I would have Piera minus 130 at most. If you want to say a pick'em, I'm not upset. I don't think either are worth being a big favorite. So I could see it going either way. Pretty much two very terrible fighters. It could go either way. I'm gonna lean Piera Rodrigues. She's fought more recently. I think she's a small bit better of a fighter. And let's see, what's the height and all that? 5'2", 5'3", 6. Yeah, Carnelossi will have the strength advantage, but I think all them, the cardio I think will be the biggest factor in this fight. And this might be the only opponent Piera might have a better gas tank than, because we know the bigger you are as a fighter, the more you'll gas. So we'll see how much Carnelossi has improved her gas tank since her debut, her early fights. So pretty much this is, can Piera keep it on the feet, or will she get taken down? If she can keep it on the feet, she probably will win, but you never know. So I'm gonna go Piera Rodrigues. I've talked way too much about two Cans fighting, so I'm gonna go Piera Rodrigues by decision. Am I confident? No. Do I care? No. So Can versus Can. This should be happening in Invicta. Speaking of Can versus Can, as we head into our fourth fight of the night in the middleweight division, oh how the mighty have fallen, as we head to middleweight for a pretty interesting fight between Abus Magomedov versus Warlley Alves. I was just talking about Can versus Can. I didn't think it could get much worse. And then we have these two fucking losers. Oh, joy to the world. I love Apex cards. Yeah, holy shit, this is one of the shittiest fights I've ever seen. Neither of these guys should be in the UFC. But let's see what happens. I guess let's talk about Abu Magomedov. Abus in the UFC is 1-2. His one win was against Dustin Stoltzfus, and his two losses are to Sean Strickland and Kyle Borrello. Yeah, he's a can crusher. He's not good. He beat up a can in 19 seconds and then got fed to Sean Strickland. Yes, I fell for the hype. I won't talk like I didn't. I picked him to win that fight, and he got fraud checked so badly it was embarrassing to an extent. And then, but then it's like, okay, maybe he jumped the shark. Maybe when he fights someone else, he'll look better. Then they give him Kyle Borrello, and he might look worse. He went 15 minutes. He looked terrible for 15 minutes. Yeah, he's a terrible fighter. He has about 3 minutes of a gas tank, and that's it. He's not good in the slightest. So I feel dumb for falling for the hype on this guy. So yeah, he sucks. He's not good. He will never do anything in the UFC because he can't fight for more than 3 minutes. So yeah, Abus is a fucking joke, and He needs to win this fight or he's out of here. So this is a loser gets cut fight. We don't need to lie. And it would actually be so fucking funny if he gets cut less than a year after main eventing versus Strickland. That would just be S tier comedy. Let's see if it happens. We know what he's gonna try and do. He's gonna try and get the knockout very quickly, and he's gonna gas himself if he doesn't get it. Great fighter. Fucking joke. To talk about his opponent, Warlley Alves. How the fuck is he here still? Warlley in the UFC is 8-7. Some of his wins are Alan Jouban, Colby Covington, Sergey Moraes, and his last win was in 2021 versus Lazez. His losses: Brian Barberena, Kamaru Usman, James Krause, Randy Brown, Jeremiah Wells, Nicholas Dalby, and Ikram Aliskerov. Yeah, he's a terrible fighter as well. I think he's not far from the same fighter fucking Abus is. He's pretty much like he has really no gas tank. Like if he doesn't get to finish very quickly, he's pretty much over. We've seen that a couple times from him. But I think his gas tank's better than Abus because we've seen him look okay. Like against Nicholas Dalby, he could have won that fight. It was close. Against Ikram and Jeremiah, what are you gonna do against those guys? Nothing. So, and he's had some nice performances. He beat Lazez, he beat Colby Covington in 2015. Fuck. So, he's not the worst, but he's close to it. But they might have found the one guy he's better than. So, if he can, I'm not trying to be funny. If he can survive the first few minutes, even the first round, he'll win the fight easily. He's the veteran in this fight. 33 years old. He's the older fighter. I know Abus has I did not know Abus was 33. But Warlley's the more experienced UFC fighter. Yes, Abu has a longer record, but he was fighting tomato cans in EMC, whatever the fuck that stands for. So Warlley can win this fight, and if he does, don't be shocked. If he's smart, he shoots immediately. Do what Kyle Borrello did. Take this bitch down. It might fucking work. Abus can't wrestle. He's gonna gas in a few minutes. Warlley might win this fight. The more I'm thinking about it, he is the better fighter. We might see Warlley Alves win a fight in 2024. What a time to be alive. Let's see what happens. Anything is possible. The betting after this fight have Abu minus 250 to plus 205. Fuck no. This should be a pick'em. Whoever gasses first. Actually, that's not even true. If either Abus gets the knockout in the first few minutes, or he gasses and loses. As simple as that, to be honest with you, and I'm trying to be funny. That's literally how I look at this fight. What do I think's gonna happen? I could see it going either way. Fuck it. Give me Warlley Alves. I think he's the better fighter. He's more experienced. Yes, he's a little shorter. Reach advantage, definitely a disadvantage, but he is a welterweight who moved up to middleweight. So, let's see what he can do here, man. I'm gonna go Warlley Alves. And I'm gonna go Warlley Alves by... I'm feeling submission in the second. I think he can... I feel like he can gas out Abus and submit him. Yeah, there you go. Give me Warlley Alves by submission in the second. Don't be shocked if it happens. I will laugh so goddamn hard if it happens. It would be comedy gold to see this dude get cut after less than a year after the Strickland fight. Oh, it would just make UFC look even dumber than they already are, so can't wait. Give me Warlley Alves by submission in a second. S tier comedy. Am I confident? God no. If he gets knocked out in the first few minutes, am I shocked? God no. But you never know what can happen. This is the easiest fight he's had in a long time. Let's see what happens. Warlley Alves submission in a second. Come on, baby. Let's get the upset. Yeah. Nothing else I can say. After that, we head to our fifth fight of the night in the women's bantamweight division. Not a great fight, but it's a fight. It's definitely a random fight. I'll break down why this is happening. As in our fifth fight of the night, we have Tamires Vidal versus Melissa Gatto. the story behind this fight. So, as we know, about a month ago or whatever, Gatto was meant to fight Victoria Dudakova, I believe, and Dudakova got sick or whatever, so that fight got cancelled on fight day. And then I guess Vidal lost her opponent, which was Hailey Cowan. Shocker, she pulled out of a fight not long after, so Gatto was like, fuck it, I'll fight her. And now we have Melissa Gatto moving up to 135 on short notice to fight Vidal. Wow, weird sequence of events, but that's how the cookie crumbles, I guess. And now she's getting to go from Victoria Dudakova to this. Oh my god, this must be Gatto should go try and win the lottery, because goddamn, on a 2-fight losing streak, needing a win, and you get this fight. Thank every god you know. But before she can get this win, let's talk about the fight, and let's start with Vidal. Vidal in the UFC is 1-1, coming out to contenders. Oh no, she's not coming off contender series. My bad. In her UFC debut, she finished Romana Pascal in about 3 minutes. That's not saying much. It's Romana Pascal. And then in her last fight, late last year, she fought Montserrat Rendon and got pretty much embarrassed, fraud checked, and lost. So, yeah, she's not good. She's terrible. Her striking is okay. Her ground game's okay. Her cardio is not. She's not good. She's just not very good, and she is just another shitty fighter in the women's bantamweight division. And like, they don't have enough of those in the top 15 alone. So she's just not good in any really asset of MMA. Like, she has fine power. It's like, I don't know. I thought she was an undecent fighter coming off the Pascal fight, and then I saw her actually fight a legit fighter, and she got embarrassed. So maybe she's gotten better. I doubt it. And Rendon's a good fighter, but yeah, she just embarrassed Vidal. She took her down and pretty much controlled her, from what I remember. So yeah, Vidal, just not a good fighter. Very bad fighter. She's young. Only her 10th fight at 25 years old, but I feel like bad fighters, it's rare for a bad fighter to improve, so maybe she has. Doubt it. I think she's still the shitty fighter we saw not even that long ago, so yeah. To talk about her opponent, Melissa Gatto, who I just broke down her one with that fight 2 months ago against Dudakova. To talk about Gatto real quick, since I just broke down one of her fights 2 months ago, she is 2-2 in the UFC. Her first 2 wins were in her first 2 fights against Victoria Leonardo and Sajara Eubanks. Since then, she's lost 2 fights, which were to Tracy Cortez and Ariane Lipski. She's a good fighter. She's just hit a rough patch. She fought 2 ranked fighters, and we saw what happened. Against Cortez, she just got controlled on the ground, and against Lipski, she just got outstruck. So she's good. She's still young. I think Gatto's a good fighter. I think she has time to improve. I think this is the perfect fight she needed, because losing to Dudakova could have went really bad. She could have got cut, which would have sucked. But now she's fighting Vidal, a fight she should win. This might be the fight she needs to get back on track, get her confidence back, and just see what happens. So, like, and she's better than Vidal everywhere. Her striking's better, her cardio's better. She's just a better fighter, and she should be able to win this fight pretty easily. So let's see if she can do it. Let's see if she can get the win that gets her back on track. The betting answers fight have Melissa Gatto minus 410 to plus 300. She moved down a little bit. I guess these were the odds at the start of the week. Now Gatto's about minus 375 or some shit. I think she could be minus 400. I almost said 500. I don't think that's true. She's my lock of the night. Mainly not because I'm like very because this card has no good lock option, so I went with who I think had the least chance of losing, which is Gatto. So maybe there's a better lock, I'm not saying, but I'm gonna go with her. I think she should win pretty easily. I don't know how Gatto loses this fight. Maybe she gets taken down and controlled, but she's not a small fighter. She's an inch shorter with a longer reach advantage, and she's going to be the same weight as Vidal. I think this is insane. Like, I don't get it. The only reason I think those odd, like, people are picking Vidal is they see this. But when you actually look at who those two losses were to, Cortez, who is this hyped up fighter for some reason, and Lipski, who is fucking a ranked fighter as well. So, I don't get it. I feel like people really discounting Gatto for really no reason. She's good. Gatto's a good fighter. She's just young, and she got thrown into the fire fighting Cortez and fucking Lipski in her third and fourth fight in the UFC. So, I'm not Melissa Gatto. She's my lock tonight. I really don't see her losing this fight. She should win this fight. Vidal is terrible, to be honest. And yeah, and that's another thing. Gatto's gonna have a speed advantage since she's a fucking flyweight up at bantamweight. She's gonna have the speed advantage, the cardio advantage, the striking advantage. She's gonna have every advantage I can think of, and she should win this fight. If she loses this fight, you deserve to be cut. Yeah, but she's probably gonna win. I really don't see her losing this fight. So yeah, my pick here is obviously Melissa Gatto, my lock of the night. Yeah, I'm gonna go by decision. Maybe she could have finished like she did Eubanks, a nice body shot or something, but I doubt it. Maybe a submission. But most likely she's just gonna fight at range and fight smart and get to win. So, give me Melissa Gatto by decision. I really am not too worried. My lock of the night should win. Don't choke it. Don't make me look stupid for fucking backing you and hyping you up so much. You should win this fight, so win it. Melissa Gatto by decision. After that, we had to our co-main of the prelims, the sixth fight of the prelims, and a fight I'm not going to say much about because I know nothing about either of these guys, because it's a double debut fight, as we have in and this fight has changed 3 times, as in our sixth fight of the night, second to last fight in the prelims, we had to light heavyweight for Oumar versus Tokkos. I know I said that wrong, my bad. So where do I want to start with this fight? Let me start with this fight has changed 3 times on this card. This was meant to be, at first, it was meant to be Sai versus Bellato. Then it turned into Sai versus this dude, who's never going to make his debut. And Monday, I believe, this dude pulled out, and now this Tuco guy stepped in. So, finally, it seems like Sai is going to make his debut, and he actually has an opponent. So, let's see if he can win. Fine. Let's see if he can just make it to the fight. Cause goddamn, this dude's been unlucky. So, yeah. Not very much else said. Let's talk about Sai real quick. He's definitely the guy to watch in this fight. 9-0. Hyped up guy a little bit. I've seen a little hype about him. I've never seen him fight before. Maybe he's good. Maybe he's not. 4 KOs. 3 submissions. 2 decisions. We can almost confirm if he wins this fight pretty easily. He'll be put on that Paris card like that. Because he is a Paris fighter. UFC is getting a lot of those lately and they need to fill out that Paris card since either their top Paris fighters are either fucking doing a movie, quote, or are not gonna waste their time on a fight that makes no sense, Fiero. So, yeah, if this guy looks good here, he'll be on that card, but first he has to win here, and he probably will. But you never know, this guy could get fraud checked. We've seen crazier things happen, so, yeah. Do you talk about his opponent, Tokkos, stepping in on super short notice on a 3-fight winning streak. He was on road to UFC where he got knocked out by Jiang Mingyang. There's worse people to lose to than the guy who won the tournament and is looking like a fantastic prospect in the UFC. And he was a giant favorite, so I guess people really see something in this dude. And since that fight, he has went 3-0 in just different promotions, getting 2 knockouts and a decision, but against complete tomato cans, I see. So this dude's getting the biggest opportunity of his life. At 33 years old, he's most likely gonna get knocked the fuck out. But you never know, maybe he can pull off the upset of upsets. and fuck up this hyped up new dude they want to win. So we'll see what happens, and yeah, not much else to really say. Tapology does not have the betting odds up for this fight right now, but I'm pretty sure, like, excuse me, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm pretty sure Sai is like -2, 300 something, which sure, I'd probably have Sai -300. He should win this fight. The only reason he's not my lock of the night is because I've never seen him fight a day in my life, and I'm not that confident. So I'd like to see him fight first before I'm calling him a lock. So yeah, but I'm gonna go Sai by knockout in the first. He should win this fight. I'm guessing this Tuco dude does not seem to be a very good fighter. So yeah, give me Sai by knockout in the first. Let's see what this dude can do. He finally has an opponent for maybe another hour until he pulls out. But yeah, I'm going Sai by knockout in the first. Let's see what happens. And now for our featured prelim, a pathetic fight, because we know why this is happening, and it's fucking like, why? But in our featured prelim, we head to lightweight for a joke of a fight, a can versus can fight, as we have Tom Big Train Nolan versus Victor the Brick Martinez. Yeah, this fight is literally just, let's get Tom Nolan to win after he got fraud checked. Fucking pathetic. Yeah, this is can versus can. I'll talk about it a little bit, but it's a waste of time. So let's talk about the hype train that got derailed by Nicholas Mota. Tom Nolan is 0-1 UFC coming off the Contender Series and UFC debut to begin the year when he was my first lock of the night of the year. He got knocked out by Nicholas Mota in a minute. Good job, dickhead. Yeah, he sucks. He's not good at all, and they're literally giving him a win because he sucks so bad. He couldn't win against Nicholas Mota. Nicholas Mota. Trey Ogden beat Nicholas Mota. Fucking a lot of guys have beat Nicholas Mota, and you couldn't? Fucking bum. Yeah, he's another fraud. He was the first fraud of the year, I'll give him that much. He has that, he had that crown to himself. But, yeah, he sucks. So. But somehow they found someone that sucks worse than he is, as he is fighting Victor Martinez. Victor in the UFC is also 0-1 coming out of Contender Series. In his UFC debut, he got KO'd by Jordan Levitt. Jesus fucking Christ. Jordan Levitt's a good fighter. Why are you getting knocked out by him? He's terrible. Victor Martinez. Dude's trash. Why he's even in the UFC, I don't know. He got a contract 4 years ago. And he's just now on his second UFC fight. What the fuck? I hope he wins, because it'd be fucking hilarious. He's not gonna win, though. So he's gonna knock the fuck out. So, yeah, not much to say. The betting odds for this fight have Tom Nolan -450 to +340. Yeah, he's gonna win, because they gave him maybe the worst lightweight on the fucking roster. So, yeah, I'm going Tom Nolan by knockout in the first. He's gonna win. Another thing, 6'3 versus 5'8. I wonder who the UFC is trying to give a win to. It's not Victor Martinez. Tom Nolan by knockout in the first. Gonna be an easy fucking win. This is gonna be what the Mota fight should have been, but this dickhead can't fucking beat Nicholas Mota, so, yeah. Tom Nolan knockout in the first. Not my lock of the night because he's a fraud bitch. I'm not falling for that trap again. So, yeah, there. Those are the prelims. Not great. This is okay because it'll end in a finish. I'm intrigued. Cool to see Gatto. This will probably end in a finish. Trash. Not great and not great. So, not a great prelims. Pretty weak for even an Apex card. But what can you do? Now we head to the main card, which is actually not bad. I've seen much worse. It's not great, but for an Apex card, it's pretty solid. So, yeah, enough rambling about the fucking prelims. We are 48 minutes into this bitch. So let's finally get to the main card, as we begin with our main card opener in the strawweight division for the third time. 4 female fights on one card. All you stupid casual dickheads, cover your eyes and run away. It's women. Oh, fucking losers. So let's start the main card with a ranked matchup in the women's strawweight division between Angela Overkill Hill versus Luana Pinheiro. Always great to see Angie fight. Not very great to see Pinheiro fight. Let's talk about Angie. Even though, do I have to say anything about Angie? It's fucking Angie. Angela Hill in the UFC is 11-13. Yeah, I don't know either. She's had a lot of fights. She's won some, lost a lot. Her best wins in the UFC are... I'm trying to pick out good ones. Luke Boomy, Lupe Godinez, Emily Ducote, and Denise Gomes. Her losses are Jessica Andrade, Nina Nunez, Courtney Casey, Randa Marcos, Yan Xiaonan, Claudia Gadelia, Michelle Waterson, that was a robbery, Tisha Pennington, Amanda Lemos, that was a robbery, Viana Jandiroba, and Mackenzie Dern. So, like, outside Lemos and Waterson robberies, you can't really get mad at any of her losses. Like, Dern, yeah, you should be winning that fight. Dern's trash. Besides that, Courtney Casey and Randa Marcos you should not be losing to either, but I've seen worse. So, oh yeah, and then she also lost to Rose and Tisha in her first UFC stint, so I forgot about that. We know we're getting with Angie. She's 39 years old, but still fighting at a very high level. Fucking 3-2 in her last 5. She's the queen of knocking off prospects. Pinheiro ain't a prospect anymore, so maybe she'll actually lose this fight. But yeah, Angie is 39 years old and still fighting at a very high level. I'll give her that much. I don't know who ain't a fan of Angie at this point. Like, she fights so often. She's an OG. At this point, I think you can start calling her a legend, because I think she kind of is. She's the family of Michael Johnson. She wins some fights she should not win, like beating Amanda Lemos in 2021, and she loses fights she should not lose, like Courtney Casey and fucking that bullshit. So, yeah. Always great to see Angie on a card. And, yeah, let's see what she can do. Let's see if she can get her... She's almost close to going above 500 in the UFC. Only needs 2 more wins, so maybe this will be one of them. Yeah. No, I don't need to say much about Angie. It's fucking Angie. Come on. Do we talk about her opponent, Luana Pinheiro? Luana in the UFC is 3-1, and coming off Contender Series. Her 3 wins in UFC are Randa Marcos, Sam Hughes, and Michelle Waterson, and her 1 loss was to Amanda Hebos. She's not good. She really got fast-tracked into the rankings for one reason. It's not her skill. It's because she's fucking good looking. It's pretty fucking obvious, because these are not... Randa, Sam, and Michelle Waterson are not ranked wins. You should not be getting ranked off those 3 wins. And she didn't even look good in those fights. Randa Marcos, she turned to an actor. Sam Hughes, she looked terrible. And Michelle Waterson, she might have lost that fight, for fuck's sake. So... But then her last fight, she fought Amanda Hebos, and she got completely exposed for not being a good fighter, because she's not a good fighter. She has good power, and she's good in round 1, but she has no cardio, and she's tired by the end of round 1. So, she's not good. I never really fell for the trap of Luana Pinheiro. Maybe I'm lying, but I don't remember ever being like, oh yeah, Pinheiro's good. I'm just like, eh. Like, I think she's a favorite against Hebos, and I picked her to lose. Yeah. Well, no. No, never mind, I lied. But, never mind. But, yeah. She's not good. And, yeah, I just don't see... I don't know why she's in the ranking. Well, again, I know why she's in the rankings, but I don't agree with why she's in the rankings. She's not a ranked... There are way better fighters unranked than her at strawweight. Yasmin Hawagui, Luke Boomy, a bunch of fighters who are better than Luana Pinheiro. And I think that's going to show to be true again in this fight, so, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Angela Hill minus 160 to plus 130. To be honest, I'd have Angie at minus 200. Angie should win this fight. Yes, she's 9 years older, but she's the better fighter. She's not going to gas after round 1. She's 10 times more experienced than Pinheiro probably will ever be. And I think she should win this fight, which is a scary thing to say for Angela Hill, because that means she's probably going to lose. So, But, yeah, I'm going Angie here. I don't see how she would lose this fight. Unless she gets finished in the first round, which I doubt, she should win this fight. So, give me Angela Hill by decision. She'll probably lose round 1. She'll probably win 2 and 3. Like, she's the better fighter here. Unless Pinheiro becomes fucking Khabib and starts taking Angie down, which I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. Pinheiro has a little bit of a height advantage. Angie should win this. She's better. Simple as that. Give me Angela Hill by decision. So this means when Angie's actually meant to win, she's gonna lose. So be ready for that. I'm gonna be annoyed. But yeah, Hill by decision. After that, we go to the most random fight on the card, and I still can't really believe this is a fight that's about to happen, but shit happens. As in our second fight on the main card, we head to the bantamweight division for a fight between Adrian Yanez versus Vinicius Femamo Salvador. Imagine telling someone about this fight a year ago. I would think you're lying. But this is a real fight that's gonna happen in 48 hours from when I'm recording this. So I don't know what to say either, but let's see what happens. I can't. Let's just talk about Adrian Yanez. No, I'm not gonna say his name how it's meant to be said. What, like Yanez or some shit? No, it's Adrian Yanez. Yanez in the UFC is 5-2. His 5 wins are Victor Rodrigues, Gustavo Lopez, Randy Costa, Davey Grant, and Tony Kelly. His 2 losses are Rob Font and Jonathan Martinez. He started off hot in UFC. 3 years, he got 5 wins, 4 knockouts. He looked great. But then he fought Rob Font and got kinda, I don't want to say fraud checked, but he got beat. Which you should not be losing to Rob Font, but it happens. And then he lost Jonathan Martinez, which is even a more understandable win. Jonathan Martinez is a great fighter, I know, 2 weeks ago. I know 2 weeks ago it didn't seem like it, but shit happens. Now he's taken close to a year off, a good amount of time off, and now he's getting the giantest step down imaginable. I've never seen someone get such a giant step down. You went from fighting a top 15 dude to fighting an 0-2 flyweight. Huh? Like, it's gonna be cool to see Yanez get back on track. I think this is a fight he needs, because his confidence could be shot after getting pretty much demolished in back-to-back fights. But, wow, what a fucking step down. So, if he loses this, he deserves to get cut. But he's not gonna lose this fight. I would be fucking amazed. I'd be sad if he lost this fight. So, I think Yanez will win this fight and bounce back. Like, I don't really think there's much to be said. The dude is still good. He just ran into Jonathan fucking Martinez. To talk about his opponent, Salvador, there's not much to say. He's pretty much just cannon fodder here. He's 0-2 in the UFC since coming off Contender Series. In his first 2 fights, he lost to Victor Altamirano and CJ Vergara. He's had fun fights, not good ones. He's not looked good in either of them. He missed weight for the CJ fight. Like, he's a fun fighter. He's not a good one. His fighting style is just stupid. He thinks he's Anderson Silva when he's not. And yeah, he's just not very good. And I think a move up to bantamweight's smart. He is a really big dude, 5'7", fighting at fucking flyweight's kind of insane. But I think the move up's good. Too bad the fight ain't. I think he's gonna have he's gonna be able to have a fun fight here. It's just probably gonna end with him knocked the fuck out. So yeah, this is probably gonna be his last fight in the UFC, but he had a nice run, had some fun fights, and he had a great fight on Contender Series. So yeah, maybe he's improved in the time he's been away, but I doubt it. Especially if he's fighting a lesser opponent, I'd be like, okay, Salvador's move up to bantamweight, maybe he'll win. Not against Adrian Yanez. Sorry, bro, not a fucking chance. So yeah. The betting odds for his fight have Adrian Yanez minus 135 or minus 350 to plus 275. Yeah, you could put Yanez at. Nah, I think 350 is perfect. I was gonna say 400, but I'm like, yeah, let's chill. 350 is perfect. He should win this fight. I would be fucking ashamed if he won this fight. If he lost this fight, I mean. Dude, it's Salvador, up a weight class. dude, you win. Like, he's better everywhere. Also, Yanez has the cardio advantage, the striking advantage, the power advantage, the fucking... He's fought at bantamweight before. Like, the only thing Salvador has over him is what? Kicks? And Salvador's kicks are not Johnson Martinez's kicks. So, Yanez should win this fight easily. Let Salvador gas himself out in round 1 and go for the kill in round 2. Or go for the kill in round 1. This is not going to go 15 minutes. If it does, then it's going to be a great fight. I think this will win fight of the night. But either... I forget what fight I said this for last week, but I'll say it again. I think it was... What fight did I say for last week? Some fight. You can go back and look, but I'm going to say it again here. Either this fight's going to win 5 of the night, or it's going to end with a performance bonus. So, yeah, I'm going to go Adrian Yanez by knockout in the second. I think he's going to put Salvador out. I think he's going to let Salvador gas himself out in the first and put him down in the second. What's the height advantage here? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, give me Adrian Yanez by knockout in the second. Get back on track here, brother. Let's see what he does here. If he loses this is a loser gets cut fight. Yanez, what happened? Get the win here. Get back on track. Yanez by knockout in a second. After that, we head to our featured bout, our third fight of the night, our third fight of the main card, and it's a weird one. Not a bad one, but it's definitely not what I would have expected. And for the guy on the right, as we head to welterweight for a pretty intriguing fight between Ramiz Brahimaj versus Themba, the answer Gorimbo. Yes, I said Ramiz Brahimaj. It's been a long time since I've said that name in a breakdown. 2 years to be exact, so I guess this card's the card of returns, because we had Carnelossi and now Brahimaj. It's good to see fighters coming back and not just taking up a roster spot for the fun of it, so yeah. But yeah, let's talk about Ramiz Brahimaj and his return. Ramiz in the UFC is 2-2. His 2 wins are Sasha Palatnikov and Michael Gilmore. His 2 losses are Max Griffin and Court McGee. When he was fighting 2 years ago, he was never a great fighter. He was the most average fighter possible. Like, his 2 wins are against 2 cans, and his 2 losses are to Max and Court. Court in 2022 was still an okay fighter, but he's not far from the fighter he is now. And Max Griffin, who is, I still say, one of the more underrated fighters, almost ripped his fucking ear off his head, so... Yeah, I think we all have seen that clip. If not, we watched it live. I know I did. And that was fucking disgusting. So, yeah. But he's now back after a 2-year break. I think I heard he had some, like, spinal injury. So, that sucks. But now he's back, so good for him. Maybe he's improving in 2 years away. I swear I've seen him in the corner of some fighters lately. Yeah, with Alex Morono and Ryan Spanish. Yeah, that's a very, big gym. But yeah, maybe he's improved in the 2 years away, because before he was never that great of a fighter. I didn't look at him as a great fighter. But now he's coming back. Now he's coming back to a pretty difficult return fight. Themba is not an easy return fight, but we saw Tisha Pennington last week come back and look great in her return fight, which was not looking to be an easy one. So we've seen crazier things happen. Let's see how Ramiz looks in his return, because when he was fighting, he was a pretty average, boring fighter, to be honest. So let's see what he can do. To talk about his opponent, Themba Gorimbo. Definitely one of the biggest hype trains going right now, and just one of the more popular fighters in general. Themba in the UFC is 2-1. His 2 wins are Takashi Sato and Pete Rodrigues, and he lost to AJ Fletcher in his debut. We all know why we know Themba, because that video with The Rock giving him a car or whatever. I forget, a house, or maybe it's just meeting him, I don't fucking remember. But yeah, since then he's went 2-0. He beat Takashi Sato, or was that after the Sato fight? It was either but after the Fletcher or the Sato fight. I don't remember, but either way, he beat Sato. Pretty boring fight, but he needed that win, and then he looked amazing against Pete Rodrigues, knocking him out in 32 seconds, which was beyond unexpected. the reason that was shocking was because if you watch any breakdowns on that fight, even mine, we all pretty much everyone agreed this was a striker versus grappling match, and the grappler was Themba, and he just knocked Pete out in 32 fucking seconds. So he's getting better, which is insane since the dude is not young. 33 years old at welterweight. Like, I guess that's not old, but it's not young. And to get into UFC at 33 is definitely not something you see a lot, but it looks like he's getting better. Like, we know his ground game's good. We saw he looked okay against AJ at first. He looked good against Takashi. And now it looks like his striking is getting better. He's looking like a real prospect in the division. Do I think he's gonna, well, funny enough, do I think he's gonna hold this belt ever? No. Do I think he's gonna be top 15? I doubt it. But I could see him winning some fights in the division. So, especially if he can look good here, well, I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued. I think Themba is one of the more intriguing fighters, and I'm very, very, very shocked they're putting him on another Apex card. He's been on 4 Apex cards. Like, I thought for sure after this stuff with The Rock, he would have been put in a real card. Like a pay-per-view, prelims, or a fucking fight night in the crowd. But 4, like, I guess you've seen the hype with him? I'm not sure. But if he wins here, he might be finally getting out the Apex. But, yeah. We'll see how Themba looks here. It's a step up from Pete Rodrigues and Takashi Sato, yeah, but not by much. Ramiz, like, unless Ramiz has got way better, this ain't much of a step up, so, yeah. The betting odds first fight have Themba Gorimbo minus 205 plus 170, I agree. Themba should be minus 200. You could go up to about 250, but I think that might be too much. 230 maybe. I don't hate. Themba should win this fight. I think he probably is the better fighter. He's been fighting a lot. He fought 3 months ago compared to Ramiz fighting 2 years ago. And, like, if we go, like, who's better on the feet? Probably Themba. Who's better on the ground? It's close, but probably Themba. Whose cardio is better? Probably Themba, since he's actually been fighting recently. Though, it looks like he's getting better. And if he can keep winning and win this fight, I'm intrigued to see how far he can go. So, give me Themba Gorimbo to get a third win in a row, and give me Themba by decision. I think he can get the win here. I don't know if he'll get a finish. I don't think he's gonna get another knockout. I don't think he's gonna get a submission. Submission could happen, but I'm not counting on it. Give me Themba by decision. I think he should be able to win this fight, probably in both assets of fighting on the feet and on the ground. And I think he'll extend his streak to 3-0. So, yeah, give me Themba Gorimbo by decision. I could see Ramiz coming in and spoiling the party, but I wouldn't be very confident in that. So, yeah, give me Themba by decision. I was gonna say I think we're all cheering for Themba. At least I am. It's a cool story. I want to see him keep winning. So, yeah, Themba by decision. Now on to the co-main event of the evening. A fine fight that might be a couple years late to when it should have been happening, as we stay in welterweight for a interesting fight between the Ox fighter Khaos Williams versus Carlston Macabike Harris. This ain't a bad fight. I don't know if it should be the co-main. This screams a fight from like 2020 during the pandemic or some shit. But it's not a bad fight. 2 fine fighters, and let's see what happens here. So, I guess let's start with talking about a guy we've not seen in a minute, Khaos Williams. Khaos in the UFC is 5-2. His 5 wins are Alex Morono, Abdulrazak Al-Hassan, Matthew Semelsberger, Miguel Baeza, and Rolando Bedoya. And his 2 losses are Michelle Pereira and Randy Brown. Can't get mad at those 2 losses. The Randy Brown fight is very close. And those wins start off great, knocking out Morono and Abdul in under a minute, Das Penge style. Pretty good. Running into Piera and losing, it happens. But then Semelsberger and Baeza, he looked good in those fights. Then the Randy Brown fight, he looked pretty bad. And then the Bedoya fight, he might have been the worst performance of his fucking career. He looked bad in that fight. And I feel like that's a big reason he has taken a year off, because he did probably lose that fight. And he looked terrible in it anyway. So a year off is not a bad thing. It's not like, he's only 30, so that's not a bad thing to do, take a break at that age. And now he's back fighting Carlos Tamires. We know what we're getting with Khaos, a dude who, if he touches you, you're gonna go down. But if he can't land a KO shot, he really doesn't have much more for you. Like, he landed some nice shots from Bedoya, he couldn't put him down though. His cardio is not amazing. His wrestling is not good. Like, he's not a great fighter. He just hits hard as fuck. And it works. Sometimes I'm actually shocked it worked on someone like Morono. But when it doesn't work, you have the Piera fight, you have the Brown fight, and the Bedoya fight. So, yeah. Khaos is a fun fighter, but when he starts fighting guys who don't go down in one punch, he kind of has some issues. So, of course, again, with the Khaos fight, he always has that. At any second, he can land that death touch. But if he doesn't land that, it's rare for him to win. So, we'll see how he looks here. Another year off, though. Yeah, now he's had one fight. Like, he's been taking a lot of breaks lately, which maybe that's good for him, maybe not. I don't know. He loves fighting in May for some reason. So, we'll see how he looks here. We'll see after another year break. So, but now we have to talk about his opponent, Carlston Harris, a dude who's not been taking that long a break and is, for his age, actually fighting really well still. He is 4-1 in the UFC. His 4 wins are Christian Aguilera, Impa Kasanganay, Jared Gooden, and Jeremiah Wells, and his 1 loss was to Shavkat Rakhmonov. For his 4 wins, not great fighters. Aguilera, Gooden, and Impa pretty much cans. Jeremiah Wells, that was a great fucking win, comeback win, he was completely losing that fight, and to lock in an Anaconda out of nowhere and put him out, it's like, okay, I was not expecting that, but that's a big win, and he was the first guy to beat Jeremiah, if I'm correct. Well, Matt Summelsberger did, but yeah, he was the first person to beat Jeremiah, so that's nice. And then, do we need to talk about his loss? He lost to Shavkat. There's no comment needs to be made. You lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov, the guy who's going to be champion, who got robbed of a title shot at 304. So, yeah. Carlston's good, though. Carlston, 36 years old, I know is definitely a red flag at welterweight, but he's not looking it, man. Like, 4-1 in the UFC, knocking off Jeremiah Wells in his last fight. He's looking good for 34. He doesn't fight perfectly, I'll give him that much. The Gooden fight was not the greatest performance, but he doesn't fight perfectly, but he still gets the wins. And that's all that matters. So, I think he's good. I think he's still an interesting fighter in the division. And a win here, you could really make a case for him getting a rankings fight. I think you could have made a case for him getting a fight like that anyway. To submit Jeremiah Wells like that, and your only loss being Shavkat. He's looking good. Like, eventually age will get to him. 36 years old at welterweight. It might be this fight. Fighting a dude like Khaos, being at 36 years old, taking a punch from Khaos could end badly. Who knows? I've seen crazier things with Carlston. So, and we know, like, Carlston's well-rounded. He can strike a little bit, but his ground game is definitely his specialty, it feels like. Especially in this fight, it better be, because you're not going to want to strike with fucking Khaos Williams, so we'll see what he can do. I'm intrigued. Pretty interesting fight in the welterweight division here, so, yeah. The betting odds first I have Khaos Williams minus 125 to plus 105. I don't agree. I would have Carlston Harris the favorite, to be honest with you. I would have him minus probably like 140. Yeah, probably 140. Like, he's fought more consistently. He's looked better in his last few fights. And, like, yeah, I get the concern. 36 years old fighting Khaos Williams. That's a red flag. But if he doesn't get hit, which I know is a stupid thing to say in an MMA fight, but if he does not take one of those big bombs, or he can just, recover really well from one of them, because if he gets hit, he's probably going to go down, maybe not out, then he can win this fight. He has a better gas tank. He's the more experienced fighter. He's the longer fighter by they're both 6. Wow, what? I feel like there's no way. I thought Carlson was like a pretty lengthy dude, like up to like Randy Brown level, but I guess not. But yeah, I think if he fights smart here and goes for some takedowns, fights at range, he can win this fight. I could see this being like the Randy Brown fight to an extent, where Khaos just gets beat up at range, and I could see Carlson taking him down. I'm trying to think, has anyone taken Carlson or Khaos down yet? Maybe Piera did, but I don't remember it. So yeah, I'm gonna go Carlson here. I'm gonna go with the underdog here. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Harris here to win. I think he is the older fighter, but I think when it comes skill for skill, he's better. On the feet, probably Khaos is better, but on the ground, it's Harris. On the cardio, it's Harris. Experience, it's Harris. Give me momentum. Fighting recently, give me Carlson Harris by decision. I don't think he'll get a finish. I think it might not be the most exciting fight if Harris wins, because we know if Khaos wins, it's going to be a knockout. But I'm going to go for who I think's going to win more than what's going to be more exciting, and that's going to be Carlson Harris by decision. Maybe he can lock in a submission. Don't be surprised. We know he can do it at any second. Or he could get a lucky knockout shot. You never know. But I'm going to go Carlson Harris by decision. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter. He's the more experienced fighter, the longer fighter. And I swear he is, and just watching them, but apparently not. And just don't get touched by that fucking death touch of Khaos, and he should win this. So give me Carlson Harris by decision. And now for the main event of the evening. A battle in the featherweight division that's actually very intriguing, and it's actually kind of a big fight in the division for many reasons. As in our main event of UFC Vegas 92, we have Edson Jr. Barboza versus Lerone the Miracle Murphy. Very intriguing fight here, and a very important fight, I feel. Important for the reasons of either a legend gets another win, or we see how good a prospect really is. So we'll see. I know it's like a what? I think Edson's ranked like 10th versus Lerone, who's ranked like 15th, if he's even still ranked. So definitely that. But fuck, besides that, man, this is a big fight, and I'm intrigued. I don't need to talk about Edson Barboza. We know Edson Barboza, one of the best strikers of all time, a legend in every facet, only 38 years old, still fighting at the highest level, 2-fight winning streak versus younger dudes. He's great. He's still Edson fucking Barboza. He's still an amazing fighter who you can't count out. Like, if he's losing, he's only losing to the best, or Bryce Mitchell for some reason. So, yeah. But who I need to talk about is definitely the more unknown guy here, Lerone Murphy. Lerone in the UFC is 5-0-1. His wins I've not been impressed with him. I get he's like this hyped up prospect, I've not seen it. So in his debut, he had a draw of Zubair Tukhugov. Okay, fine. Then he knocked out Ricardo Ramos. Not bad. Beat Douglas Silva de Andrade. That's actually a good win. I like Douglas. He's a good fighter. Then he knocked out Makwan. Yeah, some definitely things to remember. He lost round 1. That fight definitely reminds me of Alex Pereira in Piera's debut versus Michelitis, where he lost round 1 to Needham in round 2. But again, it's Makwan. There's not much to say there, so I'm not really impressed. This is where it got bad. He lost this fight. Gabriel Santos did not lose this fight. Lerone Murphy got a fucking hometown robbery. There's no fucking way he won this fight. One of the worst robberies of last year. So, and then look what happened to Gabriel Santos, dude, getting KO'd by David Onama. So, yeah. And then in his last fight, he had a very forgettable fight with Josh Kulabau. So, it started off pretty good for him. These are not bad, and even this was a cool knockout. But then it's not been going very well. So, and my God, what a jump. You go from Josh Kulabau to Edson Barboza. Ugh. Good luck. I've not been impressed with Lerone. I get he has a cool story, got shot or whatever. Cool. Great story. But you need more than a cool story to be a good fighter. And I'm not impressed. He's not bad. He's not a bad fighter. But I don't look at him as this hyped up great prospect yet. He lost to Gabriel Santos. Like, and he's not, and his best win is Douglas Silva de Andrade, a bantamweight. Like, if you want to say it's fucking Josh Klubau, go ahead. You're wrong, but go ahead. So, yeah, I've not been impressed. He's fought some veterans like Silva de Andrade and fucking Makwan, and he's fought some young guys like fucking Santos and Ramos, but he's not fought anyone half the caliber of Edson Barboza, and B, when he's fighting these guys, he's not looked impressive, especially lately. So, maybe he'll shut me up, but I'm not impressed with Lerone Murphy. I've not been in a while, in 2.5 years, and even then, it's Makwan Americani. So, let's see how he looks here, the biggest fight of his life. Let's see how he does. It's intriguing. Can the kid shut me up? Yes, he fucking can. If he wins this fight, then I'll shut the fuck up. But if he loses this fight, depending on how he loses, if he loses like Sadiq Youssef, I'll say this could be a learning experience for him, like it was for Sadiq Youssef. But if he let's just say he got finished like early or some shit, I'm adding him to the fraud list. So yeah. But we'll see. That the fraud, calling him a fraud is a little, even a reach for me. So I might not do that, but we'll see. We have to see what happens in this fight. So yeah. But now I talk about the betting odds, which I think are terrible. Lerone Murphy minus 150 to plus 125. I think they've I think they shrunk a little bit. I think he's like minus 130. There's no way he should be a favorite in this fight. Edson should be minus 150, 160. I get he's younger by 6 years. I get he has the fancy O. That's definitely playing a factor. I get that. He's a hyped up young guy. He's fighting Edson Barboza. You guys did not learn from Sadiq Youssef, who was another guy who was a giant favorite versus Edson Barboza, and I told y'all he was gonna lose? Did y'all not fucking learn? I told y'all Edson was gonna win this fight, and he's the underdog for some reason. I don't know why. And Youssef's better than fucking Lerone, so what does that tell you? Edson should be a favorite here. Murphy has not done anything to prove he should be the favorite against Edson Barboza, and he's done nothing to prove he can beat Edson Barboza. On the feet, Edson's better. Experience-wise, next. Come on. Cardio-wise, Edson, Murphy might have a grappling advantage, but I don't think he's gonna fucking pull that out of his pocket, because he's not a good grappler. From what I remember seeing, he's a striker. He's going to try and box with Edson. He's going to try and box Edson Barboza when Edson's doing his kickboxing, and it's probably going to go terrible. Maybe he'll land a KO shot and finish Edson. If so, good fucking job. I don't think he will, though. I think Edson's going to humble. I don't even want to say humble. Lerone's not a dick. He's just a hyped up dude. I think Edson's going to take Lerone to school like he did with Sadiq Youssef, and yeah, I don't think I don't think it'll be a beating, but I don't think Lerone's going to do very good. Maybe in the early rounds he'll do okay, round 1, maybe round 2, but when Edson starts kicking your legs out, kicking your body, landing to the head, throwing spinning wheel kicks, you're going to be shitting yourself, thinking, what the fuck am I doing? So, same thing that happened to Sadiq and a lot of others in the past, so, yeah. But the only thing I have to say now is who am I going with Edson Barboza. I think he's going to take Lerone to school, and maybe in a couple years after this fight, if Lerone does lose, he'll get better from this and learn. But right now, it's not his time, in my opinion. I don't think he's that guy, and until proven otherwise, I'm not into the hype, so I'm not sold yet. Win this week and sell me, man. Until then, I'm going to legend Edson Jr. Barboza by decision. I think he adds another win to his record and just adds to his legacy of being a legend, one of the best fighters to never win the belt. Which, by the way, how is he never in those conversations? He definitely should be. So, yeah. But my pick here is Edson Barboza by decision to end UFC Vegas 92. Boom. Those are my picks. To go over them one more time. Emily Ducote by decision. Alatengheili by decision. Piera Rodrigues by decision. Warlley Alves by submission in the second. Melissa Gatto, my lock of the night, by decision. Oumar by knockout in the first. Nolan by knockout in the first. Angela Hill by decision. Adrian Yanez by knockout in the second. Themba Gorimbo by decision. Carlston Harris by decision. And Edson Barboza by decision. Bang. Those are my picks for this card. Is it a good card? No. Prelims are very underwhelming. The main card's alright. Like, fine main card opener. This should be a banger. Excited to see him back. This could be okay, and this should be fun. So it's an average Apex card. You got some highlights on it, got some good fights, got some good fighters, but it's definitely not that great. And especially compared to what we had last week, it's a super step down. But that's what happens when we go back to the Apex. But again, like I said at the beginning of the video, we don't have many more of these, so we can make it. So yeah, let's just make it through these shitty Apex cards, and then like after this we have a week break, but then we have 302 and shit like that. So we just gotta make it through the shit to get to the goal. We can do it. We've done it for 4 years now, watching these shitty cards. We can do it a little longer. So yeah, plus add some Barboza, that'll make it better. But yeah, not very much else to say. Fine card. We'll see what happens. We'll see how awful my picks do. And we'll just see. Hopefully, we get a good card. Maybe we're on a hot streak. We've had 3 good cards in a row. The Perez card was a great card, shockingly. 301 was not bad, and St. Louis was great. So let's see if this card can continue the streak as we head into a break next week. So yeah, but yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I do want to add a quick side note. Usyk's gonna beat Fury. Thank you. But besides that, next time you hear from me is Sunday, 1 p.m. Sunday. I don't make any promises I can't keep. I don't know if I'll get the recap out by 1 p.m. I'll try to. We'll see. But if I don't, you'll hear from me Sunday no matter what. So, yeah. Not very much else to say. An hour and a half later, how the fuck did I squeeze an hour and a half out of this garbage? I don't know. This is why timestamps are always in the description. But, yeah. Besides that, only thing I can think left to say is, hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2024. And as always, RX out. Good vibes only and always.